Happy Friday, everyone. It's our weekly live stream here. We're just gonna kind of hang out here for the next hour or so and watch for some flow. It's been kind of a little quieter day, so we'll see how much stuff we get to finish the week. But let's see if we get any good flow to finish the week. Otherwise, yeah, just feel free to drop questions. If you want any charts, flow looked at, per the usual. Let's see, we can take a peek at these MSTRs that came in Karma. What's up? And Karma, you might have just popped in right at the same time because I know we were talking a little bit earlier about when I say the trades come in bulk or all at once. So perfect. This might be your example right here, actually. And if you got a question too, if you just come up here in the top corner, it's kind of in a weird spot. You do the chat. There's a separate chat here on the side. I'll just tag you in it because it's in a odder spot than the actual main chat. But I want to look at these MSTR calls that came in here. It might be an example here for you. So, yeah, perfect example here. So this is kind of what I mean by it came in all at once here. So you don't have any flow surrounding this to really kind of base that IV off of. You just kind of have that one big size coming in here versus something that's like, let me see if I can find one here, like the C flow maybe. Let's see. Let's see. I want to find a better example. Actually, I think we might have one from a little earlier in the week. Let me see if I can go find it. This one. So like the EMR puts that actually you pointed out. So like yesterday when you look at them. So like you can see, I mean, most of that did come in at once, but like you have this other flow in front of it to kind of take a peek at that IV, kind of see what that other flow looks like around it. So that's kind of what I mean by it comes in a block versus all at once. Or, well, it would technically be coming in all at once, but versus that flow where you can kind of read it and see what's around it. See how much we get today, though. I mean, it's been quiet otherwise. Here we go. Let's look at these TLN 62200 puts. Not a lot of size. We'll see if it's... And let's see. 700 open interest. I just want to see where that came in. Yeah, see, this is... It's not big size, but we can look at the flow. So again, another one where you can't really read any flow around it. I know you asked if it's because it's a floor trade. That's just kind of how this one came in. There's plenty of them that aren't floor trades that are like that too, but just seems like we've had a lot of them be floor trades for examples. But see what else we got going on. Tide's still looking pretty bearish. Market's right at the top of my supply zone too. I mean, you're right at the top of that supply zone. So I'm curious to see what happens over the next week or so. Yeah, it's been a slow day. I mean, not a ton of super good flow coming in. I mean, quiet day. That's kind of how you get in as you get to summer. It starts kind of slowing down on Fridays. A lot of traders not trading on Friday. But see, these SMLR 620, I'm probably going to say no right away just because that spot's not coming. Oh, man. Not big size. Let's see. Oh, and you're up 26% already. Let's take a peek though. So you can see, no, that IV does kind of spike there. Overall though, I mean, you can see pretty same amount of time, or the time is pretty much the same there. Not coming in at the ask, and then that's a big spread there too. So that's like something I'd pass on there. See more Foot Locker calls coming in. So 2,500. Yeah, I mean some of the stuff. I mean, if you treat it as a lotto, then at least you kind of know. Let's see. So some long-term Foot Lockers. Man, we're gonna keep getting all these examples where they're just coming in as blocks, pretty much. Yeah, it seems like when you're looking for flow, like 90% of the flow's not there. So you're pretty much just kind of trying to figure out what flow looks good. Philip, what's up? But yeah, I mean, just a quiet day. Tesla's your leader, and I mean, just kind of looking, and I'll tell you why I kind of was looking at those SPY puts too. I mean, just look at the last 7 sessions of that net premium on SPY. Bearish, 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 bearish. So a lot of bearish premium coming in here. Something to keep an eye on. Even the market tide, just the last 7 sessions. I mean, you obviously had the big spike in the call premium that day, but your last 3 sessions, spike and put, spike and put, spike and put. So, something to keep eyes on. And even actually, we can look at our other indexes too. I mean, QQQ is down a little bit. How would we look the last 7 though? Yeah, not too much going on there. What do you mean by bullish bearish sector? Oh, what's this? So let's see, this just hit my phone. Trump floats plan to impose new tariff rates. After progress with the UK and China, President Trump said the U.S. will stop negotiating individual trade deals and will soon notify countries of new tariffs for doing business in the U.S. Despite this, markets held steady with stocks slightly up Friday afternoon. However, consumer sentiment remains near record lows, with inflation fears now above 7%, according to... Okay. I thought that was just brand new news. Okay, never mind there. Market coming up a little bit now. New high of the day here. Oh, okay. I got it. I was like, what are you talking about at first? Yeah. Let me pull that up here. Let's see. So, looks like healthcare is driving it up today. Healthcare, your utilities. That's interesting too. A lot of outflow yesterday on the 15th. But yeah, I mean, healthcare is driving it today, it looks like. Healthcare, your utilities up next. Oh, I should have swung those, but hindsight's 2020. I want to see what. I don't even know if I want to look and see what it's up today. 6%. That's just wild. Already almost filling that first gap. I mean, that's wild, and I think we got it in almost about that 250. So I mean, $40 move in almost 2 days. And I forgot what contracts I had. I think they were late July. Did we get late June or July? Don't even remember off the top of my head. But I know it was like the 480s. I was just curious. I wanted to see what they were today. Oh, I think they were the 400s actually. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, I should have looked. Whatever. Curious to see what happens in Power Hour, though. See if we come back down or what happens there. I mean, for the most part, just kind of that 15-minute chart. I mean, a little lower volume here from that first little chunk of the day. Oh, let's see. Had something come in here. So PLD, so this is multi-leg, so I'm going to probably pass on that right away. But let's take a peek. And I guess I'm just getting all the bad examples today. And it's going to show it's possibly related multi-leg trade, so I kind of avoid anything multi-leg. Plus, look at that spot compared to that bid-ask. That's not good flow. And if either of you want me to pull anything up for flow at all, just feel free to let me know. Oh, here we go. We got some Google calls coming in here. I know we had those Google calls a little earlier, but let's take a peek at these. So kind of messy here in the 175s. Okay, they're both 175. Yeah, so like this, I mean, could probably assume they're opening the position, but this is something you'd have to check that open interest on the next day. So like this, if it's not a clear opening trade, I probably would pass on that. But even like earlier, those Google calls, let's see, I think we had it was the 177.5s coming in here at 116. They made a nice little move up here to 138. So that was a nice quick little run there, but hard to kind of know what's carrying over. Oh, no problem. I don't know how long we're going to hang out if it's going to be really slow like this. Might hang out till 3 here and then hop off anyways if we don't get that much. I'd like to look at a little more flow, but it's not cooperating with us. A multi-leg MicroStrategy. And yeah, all our flow from this week too in here, so I'll have that flow recap up tonight. Pretty good flow recap. Nice flow recap this week. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. Quick question I'm trying to find guides to be able to read and understand unusual whales interface, how to use it, etc. Where do you recommend I find this? Not sure if you seen it, but depending on kind of what you're looking for, I will drop my YouTube in there. I have a lot of free kind of like tutorials and kind of some market overviews and stuff in here. So let me grab this for you. Yeah, give me 1 second here. I will just drop my full YouTube in here. I have it. Playlists are kind of highlighted here. So I mean, a lot of kind of educational stuff in here. Just kind of some flow recaps, all that here. So let me throw that in here for you. And if there's anything super specific that you're looking for too, I can always kind of cook something up. And if you didn't get a chance, I'm going to drop it in the chat here too. Oh, let's see. Come on. So depending on kind of like what you're looking for too. Let's see. I almost forget the name of some of these channels in here. Okay, here we go. So these 2 channels also should help you a lot. So a lot of info in those 2 channels are like the bottom of the Discord, so that's probably why you can't see, or you might not have made it all the way down there, but there's a lot. But yeah, no, and if you have questions on anything, just feel free to ask. Feel free to ask in the chat too, because there's a lot of unusual Wales users in here, but should actually really help. And again, if you're looking for something specific, feel free to ask. Yeah, there's a ton to learn with the platform, and you like when you're sitting on like the flow feed like this is what I'm sitting on all day. So like I have my ask side, bid side, my ETF. You're just pretty much weeding out the bad flow mostly. So a lot of this, I mean, it's just kind of time and watching this. Like I watch this every day, all day. So I mean, it might look super simple, like some of the stuff that I post, but I mean, it's a lot of screen time and a lot of just kind of learning and watching. And the flow recaps, I really suggest kind of watching those too, because they really will help, especially kind of what you're looking for a good flow. Defunk, what's up? You're not missing much. It's pretty slow going right now. Just kind of hanging out right now and not really getting that much flow either to look at. So you're not missing much. Yeah, kind of picked a boring day to come back. A lot of kind of just choppy, slow grind up. I mean, we're right at the top of the supply zone too, so I'm keeping an eye on this pretty big spot here. I mean, looking for that rejection but I mean, I'm thinking we might see a rejection. Yeah, good little trade to come back. Nice to make some money on your first day back. You got a lot to catch up on too. I mean, the last month has been absolutely wild. Yeah, I can pull up Google here. So we'll do Goog and Google here. So this was the Google one, or Goog, sorry. So some long-term flow there, 613K on that 1219. And looking at Google here, obviously a lot of kind of more shorter midterm flow here. The one that I posted these a little bit earlier at 116, so that was that main entry there at 116. Those popped kind of up to 138 quick, but kind of down a little bit right now, but some good time on those. But yeah, a lot of Google flow today. A lot of Google flow. Hey, maybe I'll get a gap up over the weekend. I mean, that flow looked, I mean, there was a lot of it. A lot of that good flow. More multi-leg micro strategies. Just getting multi-legs and just junk. Barely having any bid side stuff come in either. I'm guessing next week towards the end of the week, probably going to see a little less volume with it being a 3-day weekend. Zigford, what's up? I don't know. Anything MicroStrategy, and I mean, it's so volatile. It's like you have to almost. It's tough to trade. Just I mean, because you have crypto running 24/7. So I mean, you have that to worry about over the weekends and all that. But oh, you ain't missing much today. Don't worry. So hey, there's another one defunct. Another Google call coming in right there. All 14 days out. So that's why. I mean, to me, this is bullish flow. I mean, I would probably assume most of this is going to probably carry over. You can always roll the contracts out if you really had to. Can always do that. All right, let's pop in the market time. Man, that put premium is just continuing to climb. I mean, most of it's Tesla, but I want to look at that SPY. I mean, that SPY premium, that put premium is just climbing on SPY. So, I mean, that's interesting to me. I mean, that call premium's kind of ticking up a little bit there. Looks like we're going to probably rally into the end of the day. How are we looking holdings-wise? Yeah, I mean, this is when there's a divergence in that premium and the price. I mean, premiums climbing for puts, but markets going up. Let's look at the heat map. What's carrying us today? So Google, Tesla, Eli Lilly. Yeah, healthcare was the big winner. Energy. All right, let's pop the tide in for everybody. All right. All right, let's see what we just had. I heard a ding. ALIT. Don't like the spreads already, but we'll take a peek. Slow mover, yeah. Anything under $10, I'm not a big fan of. Just such a slow moving stock, and you get chopped up. Get chopped up that way. And again, another one with all the sides coming in right at once. Well, can't really read that. And like I said, it's look through about probably 90% of the flow, and you get about 10% of it that's good. But you do have people that will post every single little piece that comes in. How about these Microsoft puts? Maybe. Internet's being a little funky. It's starting to kind of storm here a little bit. That wind's been kicking all day. Alright, come on. So some bid side there. No multi-leg. Put premiums up. Oh, well, let's look at that ETF looks. I'm going to probably just look at that IV so it increases into the bid side there. Yeah, you're at the bid, though. Probably pass. If it's not perfect, I don't like posting it. Let's see what just came in ETF. Okay, we have some long SPY calls coming in. 154 days, but it kind of looked like we were rejecting right at the top of that supply zone. That's hilarious. Okay. Alright, let's look at these long SPY calls. And it's not big size. Looks like it's only 250 calls. So, like, for ETF flow, I like seeing a lot of size. I need to see size, and I need to see more premium. Like, it has to be kind of a lot. And, I mean, not really seeing ton of volume here. And, I mean, it's 578K. That's pretty good premium for that. But that size is just not there. Going back up a little bit. We'll see. I want to see how bad my SPY puts are doing right now. Oh darn, my SPY puts are down 5.25%. Guess it's ramen for dinner. See, that's the one good thing about buying time on contracts. If you have, I mean, if you're on a longer term time frame, like obviously, we look at the SPY chart here. Oh, what made you get Walmart puts? I'll come back to you while you kind of type that up. But yeah, I mean, like you look here, I mean, you got that longer time frame. I mean, that daily, that volume obviously kind of down from that tariff talk stuff, but gap down here, I mean, you have a weak move. I mean, you get a nice weak move, and I mean, you're back down here 571 in 3-4 days. You get nice movement on those contracts. This is what I'm looking for. I just want to see that first gap fill. I know it would probably take a while to fill that gap, but that first gap fill, the 568, would be pretty nice. Some little movement down there. And fill up, something you might like too, especially if you're trying to kind of play earnings and all that. I don't know if you got those after the earnings report. Let's see. Check their earnings. It told me to get them before earnings. Yeah. Like they beat earnings, but the one issue with earnings, that's you can read you can know the full financials, everything. It's all comes down to kind of how the market reacts to earnings. And with earnings, you have obviously the IV crush, especially on shorter term options. You're going to really see that IV crush. A company can beat earnings. Like, perfect example, this was a couple years ago. I was trading Robinhood during earnings, had their first profitable quarter, beat earnings, beat revenue, stock tanked 10%. And it's like, that's why I'm like, earnings, you have to treat it as a gamble. And if you are playing earnings, I do kind of, I mean, I don't want to say I recommend anything, but I like waiting to get past that earnings release just so you can kind of see what the earnings are. And if you'd like, if you come in here towards kind of the bottom in the breakdowns with the economic stuff, I really suggest kind of checking out like that Walmart stuff. So like this was my Walmart earnings here. Come in here, come here. So like, I mean, I'll always kind of put in the highlights. I do have a background in finance too, so I kind of can tell you a little bit too. So I try to make it very beginner friendly, just so you can kind of understand it a little bit more. And I did actually highlight this because I know Walmart's up a little bit today. I think they're up 2%, 1.74. So I mean, like this, like I'm kind of gonna start doing this. I don't want people to think it's like a trade idea or anything. Where was I? Where was I here? Okay, so I was like, where did I put that in there? I didn't know if I put it more towards the top or at the bottom, but like this. So like my stock impact section. So like if you look at the bottom, I'm gonna really kind of be trying to kind of give a little, I don't want to say guidance on anything, but just kind of more for people that might want to be trading this. So I mean, like I was saying, I'm expecting small gains, maybe 1 to 2%. So I mean, you look at that today. I mean, you're pretty spot on to that. Pretty spot on. And I mean, even yesterday, like you could have, if you read those reports, you can kind of understand that maybe in the morning, like, oh, hey, we just dipped a lot. The report was good. Can maybe look for possible little dip buy, something like that. But yeah, earnings are a complete crapshoot. That's something I try to avoid. I don't like trading any earnings. Just kind of anything that's, I mean, it has to be a lotto if you're trading earnings, especially like Nvidia will be coming up in a week or two, and you're gonna see premiums just jack up on that. Snookster and Joe, what's up? Yeah, you're gonna see premiums just jack up on Nvidia earnings, and people are gonna play weeklies and just get slammed because you don't know what they're gonna say in their conference call. They might not like something that's posted in the conference call. But there are, I mean, and if you look at a lot of that earnings flow, that's another issue with it. You see a lot of people, they put down big bets on earnings flow. They get crushed. You don't know. I mean, obviously, if you're a insider working for the company and you know exactly what's in the earnings report, you can probably get a better sense of that. But a normal person, like a retail investor, no, you don't know how to really follow any of that. But let's see, hold on. Yeah, and a lot of those talking heads too, a lot of people try to follow them. It's like, I'll exploit them if they're wrong. Like I know Michael Burry, I think that came out yesterday after close that he sold like all his positions except for Estee Lauder or something. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't mean I'm going to sell my positions. Doesn't mean you have to either. Let me get rid of this here and pop back over to SPY. Just chilling at the top of that supply zone. And we're not really getting any flow. And this, again, not coming right at the, yes, I can check CMG for you, Joe. Thanks for giving me something to do besides talk about bad flow. We'll go look at CMG for you. So 63 call for next week. So next week, 63 call. You sure it's a 63 call for CMG next week, Joe? Because I don't have anything for that. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like you don't know until they actually like release their kind of trades and all that. But yeah, Joe, if you want to check that contract, because that CMG 63 call, I don't have anything on there. 53, got it. Got it. Okay. So let's see. So no multi-leg, good premium. 61, it looks like it's at 67 right now, so up about 10%. So good piece of flow here that you found. So this is why I like kind of seeing that surrounding flow. Obviously, now like, so Karma, if you're still in here, I know you had to said you kind of had to step away. So now like when it comes in like it is a block like this, I have surrounding flow to kind of watch it. Yeah, and Snorlax is very good at reading flow. So if he posted it, I can probably tell you it's good right away. But yeah, I mean, nice pop in the IV there. IV stays up. Good size. You're coming in at the ask. More ask side coming in here. IV doesn't change. Good piece of flow there. Looks like it's up 10%. You just got that theta over the weekend to worry about. That's the only issue. But so far, so looks good. And got some other flow coming in here, but looks like most of it's still there. And what was this? 5,100. I just gotta watch it because you're getting some size in here, about 500. So could be taking some slight profits. There's another 350 contracts coming in at the ask. Could be looking for that quick scalp into close. Hey, look at that. We broke out of that supply zone. Cool. Like CMG's probably up. Because like if you look at the 53s for next week here, like if you swing these over the weekend and these don't move, you're going to lose. It's not super bad because you got a really good delta on those two, obviously. So let's just say we closed right here. You're going to lose on one contract, you'd lose $12. So those would drop from that 68 to about that 56. So yeah, it's the only thing with swinging over the weekend and with the next week's expirations. But yeah, good flow there. Really nice example there for you, Joe. Good find. And yeah, Snorlax, he's one of the people that if he posts the flow, I can probably tell you it's good flow. So look at these micro strategies that came in some puts. So 300 puts, we're at $401 out of the money. So some multi-leg here, so probably going to say no right away on that. 25% out of the money. You have high theta on these. Well, it's kind of pulling down. I remember we did a live a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, these micro strategies are really far out of the money. I wouldn't like those, and then they printed. But yeah, let's see, 99.20, IV staying up, coming in at the ask, just keeping an eye. Yeah, so like here you can see that IV kind of drops here at the end. That spot's increasing though, so I mean, I kind of would lean more towards buys on this one just with that spot increasing, but with it being almost $100 out of the money, Data's pretty big on these. Probably not gonna, I wouldn't probably post it. Now, if they were like maybe a month out, a little different because you can still get profit. If it's dropping, it doesn't need to drop $100 for you to make profit, but just 14 days. I mean, you look at these. So MicroStrategy, let's just look at them. 14 days, 300 put. So like these, I mean, your theta, like you're looking for like that when I tell people look for contracts, if you're swinging them, especially, but like if you're day trading them, it's a little different, but like that delta to theta, I like it to be like almost a 3-to-1 delta. I mean, anything 20 and up's probably good, but and again, I mean, MicroStrategy is a kind of a bad example because that can move $20 in a day, so that delta it's going to be a little bit lower, but you're still, I mean, you move $20 in a day, that's a nice little move there, but that theta is pretty high on them. This isn't the best example of a stock to show you. We can do, let's, like, well, no, I got to do one that's not super fast moving. Let's see if I can just find one. Like Apple. So like Apple, I mean, you move about maybe $1 or $2 a day. Like if we're looking, let's go 42 days out and we'll just look at the 200 puts just for fun. See, like you look at this, you have that high delta, 24-7. So you're only going to lose $7 on that contract a day. But for every dollar move, you're going to get $24 added to that contract. So that's kind of what I look for in the Greeks. You can look at like the Vega and Rho and Gamma and all that. That's a little deeper here. But I mean, most investors and traders just kind of need to know that delta to theta ratio. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I didn't like those SPY calls. That tide's still up. These Google puts, that 91 day trader still in. And see, this is the thing about buying time too. They got in at 156, trading at 148. They're barely down on this little move up today. You have time, you have forgiving contracts. Now, if these were weeklies, this whale is going to probably be down 30-40%. Is that Google one coming up? Oh, Google's coming up. I mean, almost back to that 116 entry. How are these Palantir puts going? Palantir's up a little bit today. Kind of a small pop to green. Put some time on those. All right, let's see. So MicroStrategy. Okay, so now it's a little more interesting because I have another hit on that 300 put. So I know they're kind of not selling that premium, but that's just so tough because the size isn't there and you never know what they're doing. I can highly doubt they're selling them for 3 cents above what they bought them for. But again, 25% out of the money. You got some multi-leg there. You can find another piece of flow. If you have to sit and guess and kind of figure out what's going to look good, I just pass on it. I want to see how my SPY puts are doing. Yeah, I'm down 5% on my SPY puts. That's Reddit. Yeah, let's see if anything came in today. I don't think I had anything hit the table today. Yeah, nothing today, but we can go look at the other main flow feed. Let's see. Oh, wait, why did I look up MicroStrategy? Okay, you said Reddit. I was like, why am I looking up MicroStrategy? So a lot of bid side calls here, but let's kind of bump this premium around a little bit and take a peek. I just want to see what came in here. Target puts, so earnings coming. So like earnings flow. I'll come back to this one for Philip here after, because I just want to show him what I meant about earnings flow. Oh, not 6 days. I want to go 60. So let's look at Reddit flow here. So some bid side calls. I'm just looking for that premium. Pretty good premium there. Let's see. Let's see. A lot of bid side calls. A lot of bid side calls coming in here. So again, bid side doesn't always mean it's going to go down. Just remember they could be taking profits and all that, but a lot of bid side calls here. So it could be seeing the top of Reddit for a little bit. No, I want to hop back over to that earnings piece. Yeah, Joe. So I'm just gonna say that bid side call on Reddit there. Just lots of bid side calls. I didn't see any like ask side puts or anything. So kind of. And where are we on the chart on that too? Let's go and look. Let's see. Just doing a very quick chart for you. Yeah, not the best looking chart. I'm doing a very quick chart. This is not going to be the nicest looking chart, but I'm just trying to put in a couple trend lines here. And I hate using Webull charting. So, okay, ignore that part there. So, like supply and demand zones, it's pretty much just kind of support and resistance. I'll show you some, we can hit on that here after. Yeah, I'm not really... Actually, we'll do it here for Reddit. I'm going to pop over to TradingView and make it a little easier. Because I like TradingView a lot better than Webull. Alright, so we'll do it with Reddit because that actually kind of looked like a decent little one. Let's pop this back to the day. Reddit. So... pretty much when you're thinking of like supply and demand zones, it's just your support and resistance. So like how I kind of draw it, and everybody's going to kind of draw it different. I like looking at it on the daily chart just so you can kind of see how that daily view is looking. Like you can see, so I try to find like kind of chunks of candles like where it's consolidated, so you can see some consolidation here. Then we popped up, consolidation here, small pop up, then a drop, more consolidation, little pop up, and then a drop, little move back up, and then we dropped, some consolidation here. So I mean, technically this would still be a demand zone because you popped up there, so then you came up here and failed, dropped, and then failed. And I mean, it's that next spot here a little harder to determine, just kind of because you're not super consistent here. But this is actually interesting now when I look at it kind of on a daily. It almost like you have a small little inverse head and shoulders kind of forming. I want to look at it on the weekly though. Yeah, never mind. On the weekly, it does not look like that. Almost looks like a bear flag on the weekly here. Ew. Ugly drawings, man. And that doesn't even almost really look like that. Yeah, that's kind of a no man's zone on that chart. I'll show you. I'm trying to think of one that has a really good example of some like a demand zone. I'm just trying to think of a really good one off the top of my head. So like Starbucks, I know it's gonna be a little backdated, but like let me get rid of this. Let's move this to the weekly. So like Starbucks. Oh wait, no, never mind. I have a better example. I'm gonna ignore Starbucks. Actually, Starbucks might be a good example, so we'll do that one too. Sorry for the confusion. All right, so like what I like to do when I'm looking for like, so let's say we're gonna draw a demand zone on this one. I want to get rid of this stupid trend line. Okay. And I got rid of my EMAs on accident. Whoopsies. Anyways, okay, we're gonna just draw the chart naked, I guess. So like I want to, let's say I'm drawing a demand zone here, so I'm trying to find kind of the most bottom spot on these candles. So if you come here, and again, I mean, it's not always 100% going to be 100% accurate, but I mean, like you can kind of see how like easily you can draw them. And then like this, if I was drawing a supply zone, so demand zone, support zone, whatever you want to call it, resistance, supply zone, however you want to call it. People like to say a bunch of things, sound smart. I kind of just, it's resistance and support. But like this one, so if I'm drawing a resistance zone on this one, I'm probably coming like around here. You just kind of see, I mean, this would be your top resistance zone. Obviously you can have some other zones in here, so like if I was coming in here, like this would probably be a good little zone in here. And I'm just kind of looking for like that consolidation of those candles. So, and again, like the middle of this chart's not the best. I'll show you a good one at least. I haven't traded it for a while, but this one always seems to have like a consistent demand zone. So like, yep. So perfect example here. So LVS. You come in here, I'm kind of trying to find the bottom of the candles here, but not obviously like way down here. Just kind of trying to find like the most where you get a good chunk of candles where you can see some support, but you're not really coming super out of that. So like this would be your demand zone here. I'd say you have a demand zone here of 34.22 to 38.77, just because you can see we come down, little drop below, then we bounce up, we drop in here, bounce, so then we failed here, came back up, we come down, bounce, and I mean you can consistently see we're bouncing out of here. So this is kind of where they're saying it's a demand zone, and you're just kind of seeing where that stock price is bouncing. Again, it can obviously always change, but it kind of just gives you a nice little view there. And obviously if you start kind of drawing in your trend lines and stuff, that helps too. I'm a big trend line person. So like this, like if I was trading LVS right now, I would be probably looking for a bounce up here and then maybe a little run up to potentially this 50.85. But again, you can always draw trend lines with that, with those zones. So let's kind of see if I can find another decent zone here. So like this, I'd be kind of looking for a zone kind of near that top of that trend line. So I'm going to come in here. I don't like it there. I almost like it a little more there, because I'm just trying to see where that stock was having issues. So if you remind me in like a week or two, and we can see where this ends up. I'll probably forget after this, but I won't change this chart at all. But I mean, like this, I would probably look for this to play up into this zone here. No, so Zigford, like this one, I'm on the weekly time frame, just the weekly time frame. I'll usually draw all my zones and trend lines on the daily or weekly, unless you're obviously intraday trading. Then you can kind of do like the 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute one. But this would just be like your really, really long term. So I mean, this obviously is going back to its IPO, but yeah, like this, if I was going to trade this, I'd say, okay, I'm going to look for a move up here into about maybe that 46, 50-ish area. Then maybe you look to start kind of watching out there. Obviously, you know, anything can happen, but like that's kind of a good example there of the demand zones. So a little longer explanation there for you, Defunct, but let's look at these target earnings puts that come in, because I want to post these. So earnings flow, I almost don't even read it because it's going to be junk, but like this, when it's 7 days here and you got earnings in 5 days. So this is kind of what I consider earnings flow, because it's ending on that week. So like these, I'm going to post in the earnings group. Again, anything earnings is going to be a gamble, but you got 1 million in puts right there. So I mean, that's pretty good premium. Let me post these. Starting to get some flow here finally. Thought I was going to have to end up getting off at like 2, but nope, finally getting some flow. Get this in the earnings flow. All right, just some multi-leg stuff there. Yeah, so I mean, if we come back to this in a couple weeks, we can see if it hits or not. Might hit, might not. How are we doing SPY wise? My puts cooked still or not? Well, just, I mean, we're rejecting that top of that supply zone. So, I mean, you can, so like, no, defunk, if you're looking at the supply zone here, here's your SPY supply zone. Obviously, consolidation, small little pop, consolidation, small little pop, consolidation, drop, kind of came back up, almost hit it. So like this, consolidation, we're gonna either probably move higher or drop. I'd like to see us fill that gap to the downside. And I mean, even just kind of looking at this as like, once you have kind of time in the market, I mean, we haven't had any nasty drops or anything for a little bit, but like you look, we'll just kind of come back here to the 421 until now. I mean, we've moved up almost 17%. You're probably going to end up seeing a little profit taking. Get us back down to that, maybe that 580. I'd like to see us obviously fill that gap, but and then just kind of looking at that volume too. Oh, I'll be happy too if that happens. And I mean, you're just kind of looking at that volume. I mean, this is just kind of time in the market and just looking at charts. Obviously, the tariff fears were kind of driving the volume up here, but I mean, just kind of on these like green days, I mean, you can see that moving average for that volume. We're pretty below that for the most part. So I mean, just kind of got a lot of kind of just consolidation chop. I mean, this entire week it's been this $6-7 range for the most part. We're just chopping $2 a day. I mean, it's nothing major. And now here comes the flow here. Let's see. And what was that? Jeez. Wow. That's crazy. What was that news on it yesterday? I think it was... Oh, the NVIDIA stake. I knew it was something to do with that. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Okay, I gotta put my moving averages back on here. Otherwise, I'm going to... forget. Let's see, where's my volume? Let's do my RSI. I hate when I do that all the time. I'll accidentally do that. So my volume. I don't like the built-in one. Let's see. It's because I have everybody watching, so I'm feeling pressure on trying to find out where that volume, and where the hell did my volume go? Okay, I need to get out of that. All right, let me I'll fix this after hours. I'm not doing it now. Let's see. So nothing else there. Yeah, and see, like, I mean, your tide is just continuing to climb. I just want to look at that SPY. Yeah, I mean, like, your SPY and your put premium is just continuing to drop. And look at this. 7 days, I mean, spike. I mean, and then kind of tailing that in with gamma too. I mean, that SPY's climbing, but that gamma is kind of dropping a little bit. So that's, you'll typically see that price kind of catch up to that gamma. I mean, like, you look back here, we're just kind of chopping up here, and then a lot of negative gamma, and then price eventually caught up and come here. Kind of hits that gamma wall there. And even vice versa. Let's see if I can find a good one. I mean, like, you can see we're just kind of chopping up here. You have those big spikes in that daily gamma, and we just kind of end up eventually hitting it, it seems like, for the most part. Historically, obviously, anything can change. But this is kind of the divergent stuff you're looking for. Okay. While we wait for some flow, we can watch me struggle and try to put my indicators back on. Let me get my volume. There we go. I just gotta figure out my settings again. Nope. Okay, so 20, 50, I don't need the 100. Let's see, 50. What a day. I'm sure this wasn't on anybody's bingo card. Okay, we'll keep that red. Get rid of my moving average. Okay. Alright, we're back in action. Back in action. Okay, we can look at these Oracle puts that just came in. 530, 152, 5 calls, or puts, sorry. So size only 863. Let's take a peek. It's like now you add 500 there, about 180 there. So like this one's a little tougher, obviously, because you have to see how much of that carries over. But we'll look at the big chunk that just came in just for some practice. IV stays up, coming in at the ask, little wider bid ask spread, so showing good signs there of a buy. But like this, if we didn't have our two little candles here, I'd probably say they're buys, but have to see how much of that carries over because they could be a quick little exit there. Hard to tell for sure though. But good example there. Let's see, yeah. Bid side stuff, I'm always kind of hesitant to kind of post that because there's kind of a lot of people that don't understand the premium selling side of things. But when something really good pops up, like those Google put sells that came in last week, something where I can kind of assume that it's going to probably pop a little bit more. Like Google was down like 7% in a day, like you're going to probably see dip buyers. So kind of stuff with that. I like doing the more premium sell stuff, but just not a lot. I mean, and not a lot just coming in at the bid too. It's just a lot of mid-fill stuff. ETF flow today, those spy calls we looked at. UNG. A little slower mover here, 17. I mean, 62.15. You see that IV drop instantly. I'm passing on that one because there's nothing going on with that spot price either. Let's look at the tide here and update the tide here. So yeah, I mean your put premiums up there. Put volume volume, they're fighting there. Alright, let's get my last market tide post in here. See if we get anything good to end the day. Kind of see what we're doing. Have a great weekend, Defunk. Staying in that supply zone, though. It's a good sign there. Especially for my long-term puts. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm guessing next week. Might be a little slower week. We don't have a lot of economic stuff going on. A lot of retail earnings, though, but we'll have to see. And then going into a long weekend. Oh, I'm so excited for the long weekend next weekend. supposed to rain all night here, so I'll get everything. I'll get our flow recap up. It's gonna get everything ready for next week. I'm in Minnesota, Karma. I'm probably like 15, 20 minutes north of Minneapolis. It's fun. I just don't like all the people. I'm not a fan of all the people and how busy it is. It's going to be a slow finish, I bet. Multi-leg. Looking for any changes in that tide. I mean, that premium, that put premium is just kind of climbing. I want to see SPY because Tesla's a big chunk of that. Oh yeah, that put volume's really picking up, but call volumes kind of diverge from that put premium. Of course, I jinxed it and said that we were getting a lot of stuff, and then end up being quiet the rest of the session. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Any specific contract or just kind of the overall stuff? Overall flow. Gotcha. Alright, let's do Dell first for you. A lot of multi-leg stuff here on Dell. Dell, let's see, so bid side puts, not a lot of volume there. I'm just kind of looking for that premium. And kind of when I scan that, I'm looking for that premium. A lot of in the money stuff too. Yeah, I just see a lot of kind of bid side calls, it looks like. Yeah, a lot of weird multi-leg stuff going on now. It's kind of... WS, are you talking about the arm one from a little bit earlier that hit the flow feed? If you did, yes, we looked at it. Not much really going on with arm, but Dell here, yeah. Dell, I'm going to say, is kind of mixed. There's a lot of multi-leg stuff going on. Probably would avoid that. But let's look at AMD. I'll pop back to ARM for you, WS here. Let me just do AMD here quick for Karma. So a lot of bid side calls, so multi-leg, they're probably, yeah. A lot of just bid side, mid side, multi-leg stuff there. Ooh, here you go. Here's a good, interesting piece of flow for AMD. So a lot of puts coming in here on the 621.15 calls. Let's take a peek at these. So it didn't hit my filter because you have so much volume already, or open interest already, sorry. But this does look like an opening trade. When you look at that, 4082, IV drops a little bit there. Let's look at the beginning of it. So nice little pop in the IV there. I just want to see where that descending fill's coming in. So you're coming in penny below, so that's going to take that descending fill. So just under the column here when you're looking at that, so like you can see how this says 40.56 here. You can see that IV increased here. So when you're looking at this, so like when you're looking for like people buying puts, buying calls, you're looking for that IV to increase like that here. And like if they're selling premium, that IV would like be decreasing then. So like let's just say there's nothing above here, and let's see if it lets me do it. It's not going to let me do it. I will do it like this, so give me a second. So like let's say you were looking, and this isn't going to be a good example, but like, so okay, let's say these were bid side puts, and you saw this coming in, and then that IV decrease. So that's a sign of the contracts being sold. But like this, I would probably say these are buys, just with that IV increasing here. It does drop a little bit there, but it pops back up. And again, you're coming in at the ask side of the bid-ask spread. And it's a little wider, well, not super wide, but you're coming in at the ask there. And then you had it's showing it's a descending fill because of those two spots where it came in at 489. But yeah, like these, I would probably say these are buys. So like that flow there, and it's out already kind of making a small little move there, 490 up to 5. Not a huge move, but like this is interesting flow to me because this is 2.1 million in premium. Let's see. Let's do I want to look at ARM here for WS quick. Maybe there was an ARM flow that hit the tape today. I will pull up ARM's flow for you, WS. I guess I lied to you, sorry. Let's see, ARM. Okay, so a lot of bid side puts here. See multi-legged stuff going on here. Don't like it all being multi-leg. Let me... Some bid side puts still, and they're coming in later in the day. Let's see if I can pop this down a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably lean with the flow being bullish, especially with those bid side puts, and let's take a peek at them. Wonder if these are closed from before. So, okay, this whale looks like they're probably closing these original puts at a loss. So, like, this is why it's always kind of important to go back and look. Like, hey, if I look at that, like, hey, it's 1,500 bid side puts coming in. Well, yeah, but here's the other 1,500. So it looks like they're closing those for a loss. Now, Karma, this is a good example here of that IV decreasing, I'm hoping. So, like, you can see that 50.77. So they're selling these contracts. They're getting out of this position. You can see that IV decreasing here. So it's the opposite of, like, when people are buying contracts. Now, it's just kind of something you look at. Obviously, it's not 100% right all the time. It's just kind of a little data point that you use. Because if it was right 100% of the time, we'd all be millionaires and be happy. More of those 310. Oh, they're 300 puts now. So like now that's interesting to me because you had those 300 puts on MicroStrategy for 14 days out. Now you had some 310 puts come in. Yeah, no problem, WS. I thought I looked earlier. I know we had some arm flow a little earlier in the week, but like the 310s, 922. Yeah, so like you can see that IV pop a little bit here and it drops a little bit there, but it's only one contract. Like if it's 600 contracts, that's kind of something that would throw me off. If it's one contract, not a huge deal. And you even have a little more pop there when the bigger size comes in there. And you see that spot price increasing too, so that's a good sign there. How are we finishing here? Oh, little sell off into close. Little sell off into close. Just what we need. Oh man. Look at these Marvel puts that came into 145, 750, not big size. Definitely an opening trade. So IV pops there. So that's like something I'd look good. That would look good to me. And usually the last like 10-15 minutes of the week, I'm not going to post any more new flow. Just don't want people to get oversaturated for the weekend. Yeah, there was a no post for arm flow, Joe. There's nothing in arm flow. We just kind of looked it over. For some reason, I thought there was arm flow. Let's see. Could have been last week. Or I saw something yesterday that came across, but that didn't look good. Oh, we're looking tight. Oh, a little spike there in the market, huh? Whoa, a little pump into close, huh? Little pump into close. Oh man, did I jinx it? Alright. Ding, let's see. ASTS, no earnings, 35, coming in at the ask. Not a lot of premium. Let's take a peek though. So like now here, you're close enough and there's some decent size there. You see that IV drop. Like I pass on this. Pass on that, even though this might not be, oh, it probably is related because that timing is exactly the same. So yeah, that IV drops there. Yeah, something I'd probably pass on there. quick, easy one to look at. Oh, it's going to be one of those slow finishes, I think. All right. I don't think we're going to see much more action here in the... Oh, yeah, and I know Coin had that, whatchamacallit, that something with the... Something with them, being investigated for something. I saw that yesterday, but... All right, well, I don't think we're going to have too much more. It's just kind of looking like it's going to be a choppy finish. So I'm going to probably hop off and just kind of get things ready to get the flow breakdown up and stuff. So thanks to everybody that joined. If you missed the beginning of it, I'll have the recording of this posted. But otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone. And recording and flow recap will be up here a little bit later on. So have a great weekend, everyone.